So if you look at this first problem, all we're trying to do is duplicate this segment. It takes these steps. Okay? You start out by creating a line or a segment that's exaggeratedly longer than your original. The reason for that is if I did a line from here to here, okay, am I going to be able to duplicate AB on this? No, because AB is going to be too long, right? So I want this to be exaggeratedly longer. Okay, once you have your segment created that is longer than your original, what we need to do is we need to set our compass so that it's the length of the original segment. So the way we're going to do that is go to this circle tool and choose compass. Okay, the way that this compass tool works is you're first going to designate your radius. Okay, once you do that, inside this little app here, it will then put a circle on your screen with that radius, and the center is located at your cursor. Okay, so that creates your compass. So basically what I'm doing in this compass setting, I'm going to click on the segment that I want my radius to be. And so now notice it creates this circle for me with a radius AB. And the center is going to be wherever my cursor is. So once I designate and set that compass to the correct radius, notice it's this radius right here from the distance from A to B. I'm then going to duplicate that onto my construction. So I click on the center, and that's going to put my circle on this segment. If I choose point now and select that point, that intersection, which mine is now labeled E, I've now created segment CE, which is a duplication or the same length as segment AB. Now I'm going to actually turn that into a segment, so I'm going to go to this segment tool, and I could have done that first too, but now I have my segment CE. So if I click on that, the distance from C to E. Hey, what I want to do is I want to measure this to verify I have the right lengths. Okay, so if I take my distance from A to B, I see that my distance A to B is 6.42, and I can compare that to my distance from C to E, 6.42. So I can see here, I've verified with my markings, okay, that those are the same length. And if I were to change B, notice those are always the same as long as they intersect. Okay, if I needed to make it bigger, I can. But notice that because they're tied together with the compass setting, okay, I've created a duplication of my original segment. All right, so I want you to undo all of that if you have done it already. I want you to try one more time on your own and see if you can duplicate segment AB on the workspace underneath it. All right, so I'm going to do one more time. Again, this is the basic construction, just duplicating a segment. Okay, and it begins by creating a segment that is at least as long or longer, again, exaggeratedly longer than the original. Then you need to set your compass setting so that the compass has a radius that's equal to your original length. So I'm going to select my compass tool, choose the radius AB. Notice it creates a circle right there with the radius AB. Again, I can verify that here. If I put my compass tip on A, okay, it should pass through B, which it does. And then if I duplicate that down onto my construction, hit enter. Okay, now this distance from this arc intersection to this endpoint is my duplicated distance. So if I go to the segment tool, place a point here, and extend it to C, I can now measure those. My distance AB, if I'm doing the distance, is 6.42. Now notice, when I click on this next one, it gives me a different measure. And that's because it's measuring C to D. Okay, so I don't want C to D here. I want it to be from C to E. And notice those are the same. Okay, and if I extend it, as long as it fits within this point D, they'll always be the same because, again, my radius is tied to that original segment.